Engine. Just in case anybody's here, I'm waiting for Bill to tell me when to go. So I'm doing things while I wait. You can still hear them pounding. Oh Lord. God. He did tell me it was going to be a very quiet day downstairs. Did you have a headache from yesterday? I don't know what you're saying. What? Oh. Okay, I've been notified, links are sent, and I should start. Okay, starting. First, with apologies, we are a quarter of an hour late. That's 12:15 versus 12 o'clock. So for anybody who's used to getting on at noon and you didn't get notified until now, mea culpa. And hi, this is good afternoon, or depending on when you're listening, good evening, good morning, whatever we got here, or where you are in the world. So I don't think I'm the only one, and therefore I'm going to address kind of what's going on with me, because I think it's just I have my version of it, but it's a whole lot going on. Please excuse me one moment. So I'm glad I'm laughing again, only because I'd lost that at some point this morning, possibly last night, but definitely this morning. Well, at some point last night, and then again at some point this morning. I wasn't yelling or anything, but I really found myself just like, I don't know, exhausted in conversations and tired and cranky and well, hi there. Absolutely finding myself heavy. I think the word I want to say is heavy, the antithesis of lightness of being. And laughter was definitely off the table. Giggling about the smallest things was nowhere to be found. The humor in how people are, even how my own reactions go, was just simply a non-existent, I don't know, like concept at best, but nothing in reality or actual life. So, I I think that what I'm going to call stress um, is a huge component for me with that. In my case, it's also borderline panic, which I'm not an anxiety-ridden person. It's not like that. I think my version of panic is everybody else's, or not everybody else's, but a lot of people's like normal day. But for me, because I'm so generally and genuinely very, neutral and happy and whatever with all the work that I've done over all these years, I pretty much am what you see is what you get. And so when I am not that, it shows up hugely stark and a massive gap between how I normally am and then how I'm being in that moment. So, doing some construction in my house, and there's a project and there's a deadline, and the components that are needed to be in place in order for next pieces to happen weren't happening. And last night it was like, oh my God, we have to do this now. Oh my God, we have to do this now. It wasn't really quite like that, but pretty close. And I really do have to do this now. And I'm laughing about it now, but last night in this conversation, it was taking place at like 10 o'clock at night or 9:30 at night. And I had been up, for whatever reasons, I'd been awake since 4 in the morning, and I had gone back to sleep for a little while. Actually, I meditated twice yesterday morning. But it's not the same as whatever in terms of sleep. And I was really just ready to call it a day and get myself ready for bed and go to sleep. I still had to walk the dog. So that being said, there are also other factors that are in there, putting together a family trip where I'm literally just waiting. I'm just waiting for 2 people to give me an answer. Okay, that's one. With the construction, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for 2 people to give me an answer. Seriously. Okay, got answers from one, got promised answers from another. Still don't have that from, didn't have the next beat that was promised from that second person. Like, just, it's just not here. Okay, there's a retreat that I'm leading this weekend, and there's product that it's supposed to have arrived actually last week. Then it became Monday, and all of that was very much delayed from when it actually should have been here. But when I got the package yesterday, it said box 3 of 3, and it's journals, and there are dozens and dozens of journals. So there are 2 boxes that weren't here. It was just box 3 of 3 that had 2 journals in it. That's it. And so once again, I was missing 2. I was missing 2 things, 2 boxes filled with journals. Oh my gosh. And I'm calling slightly panicked with the company, like, I don't have this. Where are the boxes? And he says, well, UPS says they've been delivered. I'm like, UPS put 1 box at my front door, and it's box 3 of 3 with 2 journals in it, missing 2 boxes. This number 2, I got to look up the number 2, partnership and everything else that goes with the number 2. But it's clearly 2 things happening, 2 people, to this, to that. It is, however, for me, I really do know, this is really, I think, the most interesting piece for me, is that when I really take on the principles, like the world reflects back to you, or back to me. If I'm not finished with something, it's not in place as it could be or should be, basically, then what's going to show up around me is a whole lot of that. So all of these other projects, not quite complete, the elements in it, not quite complete, strands of it happening, but not quite complete. And so I can only look one place for all of that. And here I am. So and then for me, it's actually just really uncomfortable. I mean, I'm never uncomfortable if it's just a project, get the work done, do the work, take the next step, do that. I will put, into the wee hours of the morning. I'm happy to like go doing what there is to do when that's laid out. I'm fine with all of that. When I had all this time to do things, but I haven't done it, I'm a mess. And what shows up around me is the perfect reflection of that mess. And that's what's been going on for me. Okay, so the thing that got lost in the mix is my sense of humor and the lightness of being. And for any of us, when that lightness of being is gone, when we're taking everything just way too seriously and way more seriously than it needs to be, it's a cue, like a tap, 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 or a ding dong. Somebody's knocking at your door to remind you or remind me to look here, look within. Where are you, or where am I off that, I want to say narrow path. It's actually not, it's a very wide path, but where are we off of that center, that wide center, but where have we like fallen off the edge of that? So, and I can easily look at it. I know that the retreat I'm leading this weekend, I haven't actually, a lot of it's done, but I haven't finished writing everything that's in the lessons, and don't have the structure because I don't have the lessons done. So, and it starts on Thursday and it's Tuesday. Will it get done? Absolutely. If I haven't put myself in that place of do what there is to do with that space around it, I'm actually just not the happiest person. And when I'm not the happiest person, I tend to lose my sense of humor. And when I lose my sense of humor, I have lost lightness of being. I don't know if this resonates for anybody else out there, but that's definitely the track I go. And it all starts here, home base, here with me. So I'm just going to ask you to look in your life. Where is it that you get wrapped around the axle, your version? And wherever that is, can you correlate that with some other place in your life where, when I look at this, there is a lack of integrity? Because that's actually what it's going to end up being about. Integrity. Back to that. I lose my lightness of being when I am out of integrity. How about you? So it's really interesting. I'm just thinking, when there is integrity, even in the hardest of moments, I still have a sense of humor. Possibly a strange one, but I do have a sense of humor. So, I think that's basically all there is in terms of this lesson. It's really about being in integrity here, and that when I am in integrity here, I've got all kinds of room, quote unquote, out there. And what shows up out there, even if it is a challenge, is still, it's okay. And I actually usually, it's me, I usually end up laughing at it. I have as my mother would say, I love that giggle. So I have this giggle that I see the humor in the foibles of human. It's human humor, and we are really quite funny. So that lightness of being is really a place to look. It's like it's that doorbell. Ding dong. Excuse me. Is integrity home? So looking at where I am not in alignment gives me the pause that I need to put myself back into alignment. And with that integrity, I automatically have a lightness of being that comes up. Okay, Bill says, I lose that being humor for sure when my integrity is out, but there's also a component of sympathetic vibrational frequencies. Maybe being out of integrity robs me of the strength to stay in my own alignment, and I get very influenced by other people's stuff. Not quite. Leave that up, Billy, if you could. Collapsing different things in here. So if somebody else is out of integrity and you notice it in a way that you don't have humor around it, or compassion, or that lightness of being, it is not that, oh my gosh, this is just, it's like, this is in 2 short sentences, it's totally twisted. Let me do this. Sympathetic vibrational frequencies means that when you are vibrating a particular way, you will cause things around you to vibrate the same way, and vice versa. things around you vibrate a particular way can cause you to vibrate that way as well. However, when meditating over time, there is in fact a strengthening in a very grace-filled way in the beingness that has everybody who meditates in consistency has this timbre of holding their own center with greater and greater strength and grace and ease. Nothing is, when you are out of integrity, you're out of integrity. That's it. So, yeah, I'm sure you lose your sense of humor when your integrity is out. That's its own sentence. It's not, there's also a component of sympathetic vibrational frequencies. It doesn't rob you of the strength to stay in your own alignment. Nobody else can rob you of strength. Only you can rob you of strength. You're not a victim of anything here. You have that strength or you don't have that strength. You exercise being your amazing Buddha self or you don't. That has nothing to do with anything or anyone, not ego, not meditation practices, not whether you are in integrity, whether somebody else is in or not in integrity. If you are getting very influenced by other people's stuff, that's just entirely on you. It isn't doing anything to you. It exists, but its influence over you is entirely up to you. I mean, entirely up to you. One time, my twins, they are now almost 20. God, I love these guys. I love all my kids so much. And just went through Mother's Day. Happy post Mother's Day, everybody. And it was like the best Mother's Day ever. And it wasn't like anything happened that was so glorious or fabulous celebration or blah, blah. But none of my kids are in town right now. And every single one of them on their own called in to say hi and happy Mother's Day. And I was completely happy and totally whole just having spoken one-on-one with every one of my 5 kids. It was just incredible. It was such a beautiful day. And then I got to go out with one of my best friends in the whole world, and we spent Mother's Day together that way. It was really neat. It was just a great Mother's Day. So twins, one of my twins, he was, I don't know, maybe 9, 10 years old, maybe 11, somewhere around there. And he was being a mess the way any good preteen can be. You know, especially boys, you get this testosterone wash on the brain when you're 12 and again when you're 17. So he might have been 11 and prepping for that wash. And he was just, he was a pip. He was talking back and he was acting out and he was just being a total, you know, like, oh my God, why did I have this child kind of child? Although I'm so glad I had this child. And he just kept pushing. And he was talking awful and he was treating his twin brother awfully. And he was behaving badly and he was just nasty. I mean, like incredibly nasty. And I just remember looking, and my integrity was that I love this child. I love him completely. And I turned to him and I said, you do know that you can't make me stop loving you. And he looked up and he said, I bet I can. I'm sure I could come up with something. What if I hurt and his twin brother, my twin brother? What if I did this? What if I did that? And I looked at him, I said, and I started yelling at him because it was the only thing he was going to hear, but it was like a choice to yell. And I yelled at him. I go, you have no power over whether or not I love you. That's up to me. It's not up to you. There is nothing you can ever do. There is nothing you can ever say. There is no way that you can ever be that would make me stop loving you. I love you. I love you. It's not up to you. That's up to me. You have nothing to say about that. I just started laughing. He was sitting there, this kid, you know, this blonde hair, blue-eyed kid just sat there going, looking up at me, totally mouth dropped like, holy smack, I can't make her not love me. God knows I've been trying. And Billy, that's what I'm saying to you. Nobody can make you anything. I started laughing because, like, the whole notion that somebody thinks that they could stop anybody from loving them is like a bizarre. It's just kind of a bizarre notion. So I invite you to take a look at whether or not you are in your own integrity is entirely up to you. It's entirely up to you, as in entirely up to you. You're not robbed of anything. You are not a victim of strength to stay in your own alignment. That's just entirely up to you. I don't know if that makes any sense. Did you get that? And I'll wait for your response. I'm not sure if you're here or if this is frozen somehow. Oh, there he goes. Thanks for the reminder. I will keep noticing and keep myself there. Okay. Oh, you can take this comment down, by the way. Thank you. So I'm just going to do it again. Whenever your lightness of being is not what's there, the only person who took it away or put it in the closet or covered it up was you. And you're the only person who can. So with that, I would say let's have a meditation that hopefully will bring us into lightness of being, to remember the joy that you are. You were born as a baby, as an itty bitty baby. One of your birthrights is joy. Giggling. Do you remember giggling when you were a little kid? Okay. So go ahead and close your eyes, get yourself nice and cushy comfy. Big breath in. Big breath out. If you wear glasses, take them off. And unlike previous meditations, I don't care if you have something crossed or not. Just be comfortable. Feel yourself inside your own skin. It means having an awareness. You are here. There you go. Now, deliberately take a breath in that is filled with pure white light. White light from everywhere. Above you, below you, all the way around you. White light coming into you from everywhere. I apologize. As I said, there's construction going on in my house. I have now 2 floors above that. You could still hear it. I don't know if it came through on this broadcast or not, but I guess I should have gone to the one more floor, maybe to the roof. Notice how you feel with white light as white light fills your whole system, your body, your bones, your ligaments, vascular system. And as you exhale, exhale out white light. Coming from the principles that if God is everything, if universal consciousness is universal, if all that is all that is, that includes you. Therefore, the light isn't something outside of you. And only outside of you, as in a source that is outside of you from which to draw. It just means that pure white light is. And if that's the case, then it also is you. So breathing pure white light in and breathing pure white light out. And just notice the chatter in your brain going on as this is happening. Notice as you breathe pure white light in and breathe pure white light out. That source of light really is everywhere. Notice that the rain has pure white light and the sunshine has pure white light. And that the cool air does and the warm air does. And that you can pull from everything and everyone and the universe itself to fill yourself with pure white light. Only to be reminded that you are the light. And that when you breathe out, you're giving that to the whole universe. So make this conscious breathing, taking in pure white light as you inhale from everywhere. Giving out pure white light as you exhale to everywhere. And as you breathe in, feel yourself going deeper and deeper into your own consciousness, diving into the being of the being you are. And as you exhale, you are breathing pure white light out to everywhere. A gift, a giving. Taking white light in, giving white light out. Let yourself go to more depths within your own being. Let yourself go to greater expanses with your exhale. And as you go, diving into you, direct your attention into the innate joy. Notice that the essence of you has quite a lot of humor. That internally, you find a lot of things really humorous, whether you say them out loud or not. Find inside of you where the disquiet is, in the authenticity and honesty of you. Where have you breached your integrity? Where have you not taken steps that are laid out before you for a project? Where have you not made that phone call? Where have you not reached out in kindness to that person? Where have you slipped from being your own pristine self? And then notice that you don't have much of a sense of humor about that. Take a breath in and let that go. Recognize you are human after all. Find inside of your own being what words or actions would place what is currently on tilt into being upright and having alignment. And notice how that feels. See if you can don like clothing this hat that finishes dressing you in a dapper, beautiful, sophisticated way of you having accomplished exactly what would have you be in integrity. And bring that feeling forth. Allow yourself to feel the joy of you feeling whole. And the tender compassion for the part of you that held you back. Forgive yourself for having stayed put rather than move on. Newly in position to move on and move forward. Breathe that in. Breathe that out. Taking in not only the light, but also the lightness of being, the joy. And give that breath out. Your particular flavor of lightness, of being, and joy into the world. Take another deep breath in and hold this breath, allowing this breath to feed you humor, lightness, and the gentle resolution of just simply doing what has integrity for you. Give that breath out into the world and gently open your eyes. Welcome back. Assuming you're back. Have an absolutely blessed day. I hope you're here. And just remember how Bill says, thank you. I do feel much lighter. Oh, goody. Me too. I do entirely. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Have a marvelous weekend and week. I forget it's only Tuesday. Have an amazing week. Have a marvelous weekend. And we'll see you next week.